Hello and welcome, this is Mr. Siege, and today I want to look into equipment a little bit more than what I have done in the past. Now, there's a lot of new people that seem to have a lot more interest in Siege than ever before, and it's a bit of a tough transition. So, obviously some people have already got gear like this, as you can see. They've got infantry or, your cavalry or archer, or even leadership gear. But is it worth using this gear with the troops that match with the gear, but a legendary set, or is it worth just crafting an epic siege set and using T5 siege or T4 siege? So in this video, I wanted to get down the bottom of it and work out which would actually perform better. Now, I've got 4 crits on this infantry gear, and I've got a couple of crits on the epic siege gear too. But let's see which actually performs better. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and throw a like on this video. So let's crack on with the testing. Now, I've chosen Baba and obviously Cordoba today, but the reason I picked Baba is because he doesn't heal, and I don't want healing to affect the test results because Margaret's healing can be a bit sporadic, and yeah, we don't want that for testing really. We want to be as even as possible and get the best results as possible. So, as before, we're going to do a very, very similar test. We're going to send out 100k troops. And first of all, we're going to start off with the siege troops, okay? With the epic siege gear. Now, you've seen the stats on the gear. It's not amazing, okay? I think it's like 21% attack and then 15% defense and health, something like that. So we've got 3 troops lined up here. We're going to target the same troop each time and then repeat with infantry and infantry equipment. So again, like the previous test, we're just going to attack the troop for 1 minute and then pull away. So 1 minute only, otherwise I just think it makes it just a bit of a fairer result, keeping a time limit on this. So we're targeting our Alex and Liu Che, and we'll just speed through this a little bit quicker. So obviously with this test, this is the sort of thing I used to do when I first unlocked Engineering Commanders. So I didn't have T5 Siege. Obviously, not many people have T5 Siege, and I did have T5 Infantry. So I was running a march with this with infantry gear, not this infantry, but the infantry gear I'm going to show you. And I did have good results. But let's check out these results first. So we've done 2,700 to 15,500 of the enemy's troops here. So this gives us a good base to go on. Now, let's have a look what we can do with infantry gear and infantry troops. But first of all, I will change the city skin, and I think we're going to try a 5% attack. I think attack's actually better than health, personally, for a ranged march, as I've spoke to you previously about. So I was just looking through to see if I could actually match it with the defense of what we've got on the siege city skin, but we haven't got one. So we'll go for attack, and we can probably do a comparison with the health one as well, and just look at the stats there, see what the difference is. So yeah, let's put this infantry equipment on, and we're obviously going to use a Delane's amulet because we've used that on the siege march, and as you know, Delane's amulet works really well on a ranged march. Really worth getting if you haven't, or unless you've got legendary equipment, accessories of course. If you've got a ring or a horn or pretty much anything else will work really nicely. Okay, so let's send out 100k infantry troops. And again, we'll just speed through this a bit quicker. Let's not keep this video too long. I don't want you guys being too bored. Now, this is a guy that actually noticed the testing, so yeah, I think he's actually a fan. I'm sure he'll be happy to be part of this video. So yeah, let's crack on. Let's target Alex and Luce again and basically see the results. So obviously at this point, I don't know what to expect. Like, yeah, this is decent enough legendary equipment, and obviously it's got decent attack stats on as well, which is really nice, again, for a ranged march. So the attack stats will improve the counterattack of your ranged march, which obviously counterattacks a major part of any ranged march you've got. So yeah, really intrigued to see the results. And to be honest, I don't think there's going to be a massive difference. And again, the reason we're doing this is because you may already have legendary sets, and you know you might not have the materials to craft another set. So there may be absolutely no need at all to actually invest in any siege equipment, unless you're going to go legendary, of course, because legendary siege equipment is really, really nice, especially for the march speed. So let's look at these results here. So yeah, 3,000 to 12,700. And before, obviously, it was 2,600 to 15,500. So yeah, it is a little bit worse, even with the legendary equipment, but obviously it is infantry. So what we're looking at here, with the siege equipment, which is epic, we're looking at 1 to 6 trades. Obviously, we've got 100k T5, and these are 3 troops with full T4 and full equipment, to be fair. But with the infantry equipment, we're looking at 1 to 4 trades. But to be honest, it's still not bad. Obviously, you'd need your max commanders to pull it off and really, really get high-end results. But 1 to 4 trades, if you end up with those, you're probably going to be pretty happy with anyway. Now, as I said, we use the infantry attack city skin. So let's just swap that over to the infantry health. Obviously, everyone says health stats are the best, but obviously in this instance, they're not really. So yeah, we'll just try and prove that very quickly. So we'll send 100k infantry back out, and we'll hit this Alex again, exactly the same way. After a minute, pull away, and hopefully we'll have some decent results. So we're expecting probably a little less severely wounded troops for us in our case, and also less for them because we're not got the higher attack. So yeah, as you can see, yeah, we've got the 12,600 there. This is from before, but now we've got 12,100. So yeah, not as good. And to be fair, the severely wounded we took hasn't really changed much either. So yeah, definitely go for the most attack stats, the better for a ranged march, unless you're in a 1v1 situation, which doesn't really matter. So this led me on to thinking about, well, obviously if you are going to run infantry troops, which is very, very valid, then would you focus on attacking cavalry marches? So obviously if you've got infantry troops, you're going to counter cavalry marches. So I thought, let's go and do a test. So let's take a look. This time we'll focus on belly, which is obviously the cavalry march in this instance, and hopefully we can like reduce the difference in between the results. So we'll do this again with siege afterwards, and hopefully there's less of a difference. So obviously before we had a 1 to 6 trade with siege, and then a 1 to 4 trade with infantry. I'm hoping to close the gap, either maybe be about the same. So here we have 3,300 to 20,100, you know, yeah, not much difference. So obviously this is with the infantry, and now we'll take a look at what it would be like if we did it with siege and compare the results. So again, target the belly, and we run this for 1 minute and pull away. So yeah, this time siege troops, siege equipment. And it shouldn't take long because obviously we sped it up a little bit faster. And let's check out these results. So here we have 2,700 to 23,500. Okay, so still more with the siege and siege equipment. So with the infantry in this case, we've got 1 to 6 trades, and with the siege, we've got 1 to 9 trades. And it's a bit of a tough result because, to be honest, the belly and the belly equipment, it is really poor, okay, on my alt account. So it's a little bit of a poor result, but I still think siege shine a little bit better. But to be honest, trading that positive is still fantastic without even having to have siege equipment or your siege troops. So take that as you must, but you know, you could save a lot of materials here and a lot of hassle with making a completely new troop and an equipment set. And obviously, if you've got leadership gear that matches, which, you know, the actual legendary leadership gear does match up with the epic siege gear, so you're going to get fantastic results with the leadership gear. Now, there was still one thing that was a little bit off about my test, and that's because Margaret has 20% siege unit attack. Now, it's very minimal compared to Baba's 15% attack, 15% defense. And then we also have a 30% siege unit health bonus and then potential chance of a 40% defense bonus. Now, the trouble with that, if you're going to use infantry equipment and you've got Baba, you're missing out on a ton of stats. So then I thought, oh gosh, I've really messed up this test. So I actually retested again with Margaret Cordoba. Like I say, I didn't want to do that because of the healing reasons, but I've done it anyway. Now, I'm not going to show you the actual testing, but I'll show you the results. So, first of all, this was with Siege. So, you've got 3,200 to 16,700, obviously with your Margaret Cordoba. And then you've got 3,400 to 14,400 with your infantry. So, the siege gave us a 1 to 5 trade, and the infantry gave us 1 to 4 trade. So the gap between these two trades and these two tests is actually smaller. So you are doing better with your Margaret and Cordoba with your infantry gear. So, I mean, that's great because Margaret and Cordoba, in my opinion, are the best pairing. And you can see the damage output is much better. So to wind this test up, basically, in my opinion, I think you should just stick with the equipment you've got. If you've got a really good legendary set, use it. And until you've got enough blueprints for Siege, your legendary blueprints, that you're going to increase your march speed on, and then you've built enough troops, I'd say until that stage, don't transition to using Siege troops and Siege equipment. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really hope this helps everyone transition to Siege. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.